Hello friends, good evening. I'm really sorry, there were some updates which happened on my laptop and because of which I could not connect, and after laptop is now upgraded. Okay, the OS is upgraded. Now I'm ready. We'll get started. Okay. So thank you so much for joining the class today. Okay, so last class, if you remember, we were talking about NumPy, isn't it? So we spoke about NumPy, right? This is what we did. We spoke about NumPy. We discussed about, how the data structure is managed. How do we create a matrix-like structure using NumPy? We discussed about the properties of matrices, like adding two matrices, multiplying matrices, right? So now we'll talk about how to use matrices to solve linear algebra problems. Okay, so we'll try to solve linear algebra problem. Okay, so let's look at a problem. Okay, you must have done those problems in your 10th class or 9th class. Okay, we'll try to solve. We'll see how we can do using using NumPy. Okay, so are you ready? Let's get started. Okay, so let's say we get an equation something like this. Okay, we have three variables problem. Three variables. Okay, three variables linear algebra problem. Okay, three variables linear algebra problem. Okay, and let's say I'm just thinking of an equation. So we'll say 2x plus 5y plus 2z equal to minus 38. Okay, let's say this is the equation. 2x plus 5y, okay, plus 2z equal to minus 38. And second equation is 3x minus 2y, okay, plus 4z equal to 17. Okay, minus 6x plus y minus 7z equal to minus 12. Okay, so since we have three variables, okay, we have three equations. It is linear algebra because if you see the power of x, y, z, it is all one, isn't it? It is all one, so it is linear algebra. So this is the problem. Now you can solve manually. I'm sure you guys would know how to solve it. Now we'll solve using NumPy. Okay, how to use NumPy to solve this. Okay, so I'm going to import NumPy as NP. Okay, so since we need NumPy, I'm calling this NumPy. Okay, next what? Okay, we have to form three matrices here. We'll be using matrices concept, okay, to solve this. Now in this case, this case, okay, let's say we have A. Okay, A is your coefficient matrix. Okay, A is your, say, coefficient matrix, and let's say we have V as variable. Okay, and let's say you have O matrix, which is output. Okay, so we have three matrices A, V, and O. So to solve this, we can say A into V equal to O. Okay, A into V equal to O. Okay, now A matrix, okay, is our coefficient. Okay, so let's create this coefficient matrix. I'm going to create here. So I'm going to say A equal to, we will create, it's a 3 by 3 matrix, isn't it? Coefficient matrix. So I'm putting list for 3 rows. Now I'm adding the value. So 2, comma 5, comma 2. 2, 5, 2. Now here you have 3 minus 2, comma 4. Okay. And here you have 3 minus 2, 4. And here minus 6, 1, minus 6, 1, and minus 7. This is your coefficient matrix, right? Now we'll create a variable matrix XYZ, right? Variable matrix, we know it is XYZ. So, we can say variable matrix equal to it has 3 rows, right? So you have X, you have Y, and you have Z. We'll have to find out X, Y, Z, right? This is what we need to find. Okay, so this is what we need to find. Next, what is the output matrix? Output matrix, we have it, isn't it? Output matrix is minus 3 rows and 1 column, right? So minus 38. Okay. Then plus 17. And then minus 12. Okay. Now this is not a matrix. This is a list. Correct? This is also a list. We have to convert this list into matrix. So to convert, I have to say A equal to NP dot array of A. This is how you convert a list into matrix. Okay. Now here I will say O equal to NP dot array of O. Okay. So this is also now converted into matrix. So we have A matrix, we have O matrix. Now, when you say A into V equal to O, that means we know what A is, we know what O is, and we have to find V, right? We know the value of A and O and find the value of V. We know the value of A and O and find the value of V. So if you bring A this side, it will be V equal to A inverse. Okay. See, when you on the left side, it is multiplication. So when we bring it to the right side, it becomes division, isn't it? So we have to say A inverse. Okay. That's why we are writing A inverse. Okay. Okay. Now what? Now what? So we have to say A inverse and multiply this with O here, isn't it? So before we actually perform multiplication of A, we need to perform inverse of A. Now A inverse, okay, again, if you know what matrix is, to find inverse of a matrix, the determinant should be non-zero. Only then A inverse is possible. Okay. Okay. If determinant of A, if determinant of A is non-zero, only then inverse of the matrix can be calculated. Okay, so how to find inverse? Sorry, how to find determinant? So I'm going to say determinant of A equal to np dot lin algebra. Okay, so we have a module within NumPy which is lin algebra, which gives all the required functions for performing linear algebra. Okay, so I'm going to say lin algebra, okay, dot det of A. This is how we'll be able to find determinant of A. If det of A, okay, equal to 0, if det of A equal to 0, okay, then we have to say print solution is not possible. Okay, if determinant is 0, we cannot calculate inverse, and solution is of course not possible. Make sense? Okay. Now, if it is not, okay, if it is not, then what? Okay, then of course we should be able to form the solution. Solution is, first we have to calculate inverse of A equal to numpy dot lin algebra, okay, dot inverse. Okay, now the inverse A is the value. Okay, so we found inverse A. Now we need to multiply O with it, right? So our matrix V equal to, okay, np dot matmul, right? You can use matmul or at the rate. Do not use into sign, the star into sign. Okay, that will perform a normal multiplication. We don't want normal, we want, okay, we want matrix multiplication. So you have to say matmul or at the rate. So np dot matmul, and I'm going to say inverse A, comma, our value next is what? O, right? And you have the solution. So in this case, solution is, okay, solution is V, right? Now let's run it and see. Okay, you see solution 3 is X value, minus 8 is Y, and Z is minus 2. Okay, or you can say, I can say here, print values of, okay, A, values of X, sorry, not A, X, Y, and Z are, okay, I'm going to say V of 0, right? First row. Okay, then V of 1 and V of 2. Okay, you see it? Now if I remove this, then you get the exact value, right? You'll get 3 here. We don't want to display as a list. Okay, so you get here. Or you say first row and first row, first column. First row, first column. You get this value. You can see how the values are changing. Okay, I had doubles as like list of lists, output is also list of lists. Now I'm saying first row, first column, 2.99. Here I'm going to say second row, first column. And here I'm going to say third row, okay, and first column. Okay, so you get. Okay, so it is 3 or 3 minus 8 and minus 2. So if you want to cross verify, okay, so if you put 3 into 2, 6, okay, plus minus 8 into 5, minus 40, okay, and minus 2 into 2, minus 4, okay, so you get 6 minus 40 is minus 34. Minus 34 minus 4 minus 38. Okay. 3 into x is 3 into 9. Minus 2 into 8 plus 16. Okay, and minus 8. So you get 25 minus 5, 17. Right? This is how you can check the third one also. So we can solve a linear algebra problem using NumPy. So there are 2-3 steps. Step 1, okay, convert into the data into values, or sorry, data into the matrices. The values that you have should be converted into matrices. So we have to use 3 matrices. We have to use 3 matrices. Okay, one for the coefficient, one for the variable, and last one for the output. So if it is coefficient into variable, so you have to create coefficient matrix. Then the V matrix V we don't know. So V is a variable. And then you have O, output matrix. So we have A into V equal to O, right? This is the solution. A into V equal to O. We know A, we know V, sorry, O, we don't know V. So when you bring A on the other side, it becomes A inverse. So V equal to A inverse into O. And then we can find out. So inverse, to find inverse, first determinant has to be non-zero. If the determinant is 0, then you can't find inverse. Okay. So this is how we are able to create our analysis, and we got the final output, which is x equal to 3, y equal to minus 8, and z equal to minus 2. Okay. Okay. So with that, we conclude our NumPy topic. Okay. We have done NumPy. Next is pandas. Okay. So now see, pandas is also a very important topic. In fact, the most important topic if you are doing data analysis is pandas, because we have to read the content as pandas. Pandas read like rows and table, okay, rows and columns. So like a table format. Okay, so when you read a certain data, okay, it will be printed or it will be read as a table, so like when you're reading data from database, or you're reading from CSV, or you're reading, any of those files from Excel, let's say, it will be read as your data, right? Okay. So for next 1 hour, okay, we'll talk about pandas. Okay. So let me move this to our folder. Next is pandas. So I told you pandas is like reading like a row and table format, isn't it? So I'm going to read it like row and table format. Okay. So first we'll see how to create a row and table format. Okay. So let's say you have a dictionary. Okay. You have a dictionary. Okay. Or you have a double list, a list of list. Okay. So let's say we'll start with first dictionary. So let's say I have a dictionary for storing players record. So I'll say player stats equal to dictionary. Dictionary will have key colon value, right? So the value I'll put it as a list. Okay. And key, of course we have to give key, right? So let me give first key as, let's say, name. Okay. So I'm saying name. Now name will have values like Sachin, Lakshman, Rahul, say Zahir, say Ashish. Okay. We have put 5 names. Next step is add some information to it. Okay. So now key will be, let's say, type. Okay. So there are 5 values. For each of them, I'll write 5 types. So this is batting, right? So I'm going to copy this. Batting, batting, batting. And what do you say? Bowling. So it should be inside the list, right? Yes. So batting, 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 bowling, bowling. Okay. So we got values here. Okay. Next, what do we do? Next, let's add one more thing. Okay. Let's say we add runs. Okay. So run. Okay. Okay. So I've added 5 values. Okay. Enough. So see, player start is a dictionary, which we have already discussed, right? Dictionaries will have a curly bracket, and in curly bracket we give key and value pair. So we give key and then we give value. Key, value, key, value. So this dictionary has 3 keys. Okay, and keys has to be unique, right? So if I say print player stat, and if before printing player stat, let me print the stat or the type of player stats. Okay. So class dictionary, and these are the values in dictionary. Okay. So this is all good, right? Now we have to convert this into data frame. So we need to import pandas. Let me import here itself. Import pandas. Pandas. Okay. And we will read it as PD. So we are importing pandas I'm reading it like PD. Okay. Now, how do I convert into data frame? You simply say player stats equal to PD dot data frame. Now you see here, data D is capital, frame F is capital. So data frame with D and F capital. And now I'm passing player stats here. Okay. Now I'm going to run same stuff and see what happens. Okay. Type, it was dictionary, it became pandas.code.frame.data frame. Okay. And what was the dictionary has become your table. This is how pandas are used. So you have table. You have table column name, okay, column type, column runs. These are the three columns. So whatever keys we gave, keys became column. Keys became column. And your name, okay, you see, so each name, the values became column values for that key. For example, Sachin Lakshman became column value for name, batting, bowling became key value for type, and runs values became column value for runs. So this is how your column will work. Now you have row 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Each of these rows have been given a index of 0. So we call column name an index. Okay. So you see here, you have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. They are your index. So when you don't provide name to the rows, in fact, yes, in pandas, you can give names to the rows also. You can give names to the rows also. Okay. So, okay. So here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is the default value that will get assigned if you do not give row name to the rows. If you do not give, it will add default values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But now if you give, okay, if you give, then of course, okay, it will take that you give. Okay. So how do we give names? Okay. How do we give names? That's the question. Okay. So just like, okay, so I'm going to create one more data frame. Okay. And there I'll give names to both rows and the columns. Okay. I'll give rows and columns there. So what do we do? Okay, so I'm thinking we'll create a data frame with let's say okay, apple production, fruit production. Okay, so we'll talk about fruit production. Let's say we have a company who are in fruit production and they want to store the values for their fruit produced in, let's say, 4 months. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to create a list first. Okay, I'm going to create a list first, and in list I'm going to add the values. Okay, so let's say I create fruit production. Okay, so you have a list, and in this list I'm going to add values. One, two, three, four. Let's do only 4. Okay, so I'm saying apples, okay, comma 400, okay, orange, comma 389, okay, bananas, comma 2925. Okay, so in this case, okay, apples, oranges, bananas will become one set of column. 400, oh, 400, what did I do? There are two different values, not same value. So 400, 389, 295 will become one set of values. Okay, so apple, oranges, bananas, and I'm going to add, say, cherry or something like that. Okay, or mangoes. Mangoes 5, 6, 8. Okay, so this is our fruit production. Okay, now if you want to add one more values, you can of course add one more values here. Okay, so I'm going to say here, comma 390, okay, 411, 656, okay, 451. Okay, now how do I convert this into pandas? I have to say pd dot data frame, isn't it? Pd dot data frame. So I will assign it to fruit production itself. Okay, so we'll convert fruit production to data frame of fruit production. Okay, and then I say fruit prod. And now I'm going to print it. Print fruit prod. Now when you run it, okay, you see this apple, banana, sorry, apple, oranges, bananas, mangoes, right? It became one single column. So first value of each list, first value of each list became one column. Second value of each list became another column. Third value of each list became another column, third column, right? Now here we have not given the column names, we have not given the row names. So if you see, just like row we have 0, 1, 2, 3, even the column are also numbered 0, 1, 2. Columns are also numbered 0, 1, 2, just like our rows are numbered 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, okay. So now we will give the names. So when you have converted to data frame, here itself we can say columns equal to. Okay. Now whatever name we give, that will become the column names. Okay. So because we have more than one, so we'll give it as a list. Okay. So I'm going to say here your fruit name or fruit. Okay. And I'll say 2021. Let's say this is the year. Okay, 2022. This is another year. Okay. Okay. So this is your column names. So this will become fruit. This will become 2021. This will become 2022. Okay. Now we have to say index equal to. Index equal to index, first index, let's say we call it as January. Second index, we call it as February. Okay. March. April. Okay. Now, when we run it, so see this index made the row name. So first row name became January, second February. So now this looks complete, right? It looks like this is the apple production of in month of January for year 2021. This is Apple production for January month of 2022, isn't it? So you can create your pandas like this. Okay, my intention was to show you how to create, your own pandas. If you have your value and you want to convert it into pandas, this is how you can do it. You have to first convert into list of list or dictionary, and then you can convert into list of list. Okay, into pandas data set. But most of the time, data analytics kind of world, you will be reading it from the CSV file. You'll be reading it from another CSV file. Okay. So let's see how to read from a CSV file and then how to use it for our purpose, isn't it? So how to read from a CSV file? Okay. So first we have to know from where you want to read, the values. Okay. So I have, okay, let me share a location. Okay. And then I'm going to share this location with you in the same location, in the same, what do you call, website, okay, where you have all the notes. So let me first open it. 1 second, guys. I'm trying to open the location where you will find all the data set. Okay. 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 So okay, you should be able to see my browser, and I'm going to take you to GitHub location. Okay, so you have github.com/Swapnil Saurabh. github.com/Swapnil Saurabh. Okay, this is my GitHub homepage. I have uploaded many data sets here for you to practice. Okay, I want you to come here. Okay, read the data set. Okay, so let's say this is the data set. Now I'm going to read it in our Python file. Okay, I'm going to read it in our Python file. Okay, so I've got so many data sets. Okay, let's say I take mall customers. So we click on mall customers. Okay, go to github.com/Swapnil Saurabh and click on data set, and then there's mall customers.csv file. Okay, so when you're planning to use it for your work, you don't have to download the CSV file. Of course, you can download it and use it, but using pandas, you can directly connect to GitHub and read. You don't have to download the file, CSV file. You can directly connect to GitHub and read the data set. Okay. So for example, I'm looking at this data set, which has 5 columns. Okay. So first column is your customer ID, and it starts with 1, goes up to 2, 3, 4, 5, so on. Second column is your gender. Okay. Third column is age of that customer. Then you have annual income of the customer, $1,000, 15,000, 15,000, so on. And then you have spending score. How much money do they spend, okay, buying things? Okay. So these are 5 data frames. These are the 5 columns I have in this CSV. Now I will read all of these as a data frame. So read as like a data frame, you have to click on raw. Okay, now it has all these options, right? We have to get rid of all these options. So I have to click on raw. If you click on raw, you get only this raw file. We call this raw file. It has no other information other than, so this is very much like your CSV file, isn't it? Value, comma, value, comma, value, so on, value, comma, value, comma, so on. Okay, I need to read this. Okay, remember, it should have raw dot GitHub. Okay, so raw dot means you are reading the raw file. And we need to read the raw file only. So I've copied this location. Now I'm going to my PyCharm, and I will be reading like a data frame and showing you the value output here. Okay, so I'm going to say reading the data from GitHub location. Okay, my GitHub location is github.com/Swapnil Saurav. Okay, and there you'll go and you'll find many data types. Okay, you can pick and choose whatever you want. Okay, so I'm going to use the data set which is there in the Swapnil Saurav location. Okay, now I hit enter and I have to now read it, right? So I'm going to say data set equal to pd dot not merge, we did not read, right? You have to first read it. Read underscore CSV. pd dot read underscore CSV. Okay, this means we are going to read a CSV file. Okay, I'm going to open and give that location, the raw location. Okay, the raw location, it will be able to read it without any problem. Okay, now if you want to, okay, show the value, you say print data set. Okay, and you run it, you get the data here. Okay, since data is big, it will give you first 5 and last 5 rows. Okay, first 5 rows and last 5 rows. Okay, okay, okay. So this is how you can read CSV from remote location. CSV from a remote location. It doesn't have to be on your machine. You can even read it from a zipped file. Okay, that is the power of. Okay, so what next? So when you read it, what operations can you perform? Is there something operation that it can perform? Okay, is there something that we can do? Right, of course we can do a lot of things. So let's see. Let's see, I want to know. Okay, I want to know. I'm just thinking. Okay, just the header. Okay, you want to see just the header, right? So you will say here print data set dot. Okay, tail and head. What does head gives us? Head will give you the first 5 values. Okay. First 5 values. Okay. If you say tail, you'll get the last 5. Okay. So reading is the next step is, let's say how do we read subset of the data frame? Okay, I want to read first row. I want to read the second row. Right? How do we do that? So if you want to read a specific column only, right, you can say print data set, right? Data set. Okay, and then you say bracket open column name. I want annual income. So I have to copy entire thing, right? As it is, the way it is there. Okay. So see, we got only the annual income 15, 15, 16, so on 137. Okay. If I want only the first value, okay, so this is your first column, and in the first column I'll say 0. Okay. What happened? Okay, see 15. Okay, because 15 is the first value. 15 is printed. Okay, you can pick rows and you can pick column. Okay, now let's say I want first 3 rows. First 3 rows. Okay. Or first 3 column or first 3 rows. Okay. So see, when you're talking about continuous values, right? First 3, we cannot use name, because name we don't know which are continuous 3 values. We have to use numbers, isn't it? We discussed that pandas will have both rows and the column numbers, right? If we assign the value, of course, then it will get the value. If we don't assign the value, that means when we don't assign the value of rows and columns, if we don't assign values of rows and columns, then what happens? It will have zeros, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, okay, there are 2 ways to access the value from data frame. First way is using the values. Okay, and second is using the name. Okay, so there are 2 ways to read the value from a data frame. One using the index name or column name, right? You want particular column, you will give column name. If you want particular row, you will get particular row, right? Now, second is when you read using the number. Read column and row using number, right? So when you are using name, you have to read like LOC. Okay, so you'll have data frame dot LOC Okay, and then you give this. Okay, otherwise you'll have data frame dot ILOC. ILOC means you want to read the integer value. ILOC means you want to, okay, ILOC is for integer values. Okay, ILOC for integer values. Now, how do I read it? Now, I want to read first 3 rows and first 3 columns. So see here, first 3 and first 3 I'm saying. First 3 means we can't use using name. So here you have to use LOC, correct? Sorry, ILOC. Okay, you have to use ILOC because it's number, first 3. I cannot say first 3 name, but I can say first 3 number, isn't it? So to use, you have to use number, and we for number we have to use ILOC, isn't it? So now I come here and I say print. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to say, okay, I'll put that some text here. First 3 rows. First 3 columns. Okay. Now I'm going to say here data set, okay, dot, okay, data set dot ILOC. ILOC. Okay. Now first 3 rows. How do I read first 3 rows? 0 colon 3. If I say 0 colon 3, I'll be able to read column, row 0, 1, 2, right? Up to 3. That's what it means, isn't it? We have done indexing before. So 0 colon 3. So this is your row. Now for column, I want first 3 column, right? So comma 0 colon 3. So if you see here, your customer ID is your first column. Okay, so first 3 column, customer ID, gender, age. It should give me customer ID, gender, age. And then first 3 rows should be customer ID 1, 2, 3. Right? Let's run this and see if we are getting our what we want. Yes, you see, customer ID, gender, age, and 1, 2, 3. We got first 3 rows and first 3 columns. I realized that I was not sharing the code. Okay, but I think when you watch, you'll be able to practice. This is what we did after reading the data frame from the GitHub location. We read the data frame. Okay, so we have to say data set, okay, or data frame equal to pd.read csv, give the location, the raw location. Then you can print the data set. Data set will give, if you have less than 10 or 12 values, it will give you all the values. If you have more, it will only give you first 5 and last 5. If you want only first 5, you say dataset.head. Head will give us only first 5 rows. Okay. Then here, okay, when you say specific value, okay, we want to know a specific value, right? So I'm saying in this row, okay, in row annual income, no, this is column, right? Sorry. So this is specific column, annual income, and specific row is 0. So 0 row of annual income column. So this is how you give, okay, using square bracket. Or you can read using like LOC and ILOC, okay. So if you want to use index name or column name, you have to say dot LOC. If you want to use number, right, then you have to use ILOC. This is how I remember. I for integer, okay. So I remember this way, I for integer. So here I have to give integer values, okay. Okay. So I'm trying to print first 3 rows, okay, and first 3 column. Okay. Okay. I want first 3 rows and first 3 column. So since first 3 rows and first 3 column, I can't use name. In name, you can't say first 3 name or last 3. Okay. So here we have to use LOC because continuous values, I said, we can't do in the name. So ILOC and first 3 rows. So 0:3. 0:3, first 3 rows. 0:3, second value is first 3 column. Okay, first 3 rows and first 3 column. If you do, of course, when you run it, you will get first 3 rows and first 3 column. Okay. Now, instead of first 3, let's say third to fifth. Third to fifth, right? So 2, 3, 4, right? Third, fourth, and fifth. 2, 3, 4. Okay. There's an error here because I by mistake deleted the square bracket, closing square bracket. So now you see here. First 3 rows, 0, 2, 3. And the column, we said third column, right? Start with third column. Age is third column. Annual income is fourth, and your spending score is fifth column. So you'll be able to read using ILOC. So you can use double square bracket, you can use single square bracket with ILOC. Now we'll see an example of LOC also one. Okay, so in LOC, okay, now rows here we don't have name. We don't have name, so we can use number also for name. If we had name, then you cannot use number in LOC. LOC is for name, but when you don't have name, then we can use number. So I'm going to say print second, and I'm going to say data set dot LOC, right? Now in LOC, comma, okay, comma. So before comma is rows, after comma is column. So which rows we want? Let's say we want, okay, as I told you, right, when you're using LOC, I cannot say from 0 to 3, right? You can't use continuous. You have to give names. You have to give specific name. So let's say I want 0th row, I want 12th row, I want 51st and 61st. If you have 60 members, I'm not sure. So let's make it 21, 31. Okay, so these are the rows I want. Column, okay, which column? So you can see all the column. Then you will say, of course, colon, right? Colon will give us all the columns, right? Customer ID, gender, age, annual income, etc., etc. Okay. Now you can say here data set instead of colon, I want to give a name. I want only gender, age, and let's say spending score. I want these three values only. Now, when you run it, you will get for 0, 12, 21, 31, right? These are the rows we gave, and these are the column values that we got. Gender, age, okay, these things. Okay. Okay. I hope things are clear. So yes, my idea was to introduce you to pandas and numpy. Okay. Of course, when you practice more of analytics and you will be able to practice more. We'll stop here for today. Okay. Tomorrow, what we'll do is we will take some data set and we will do some plotting. Okay. So tomorrow and day after, we will learn how to plot. Maybe day after I can do web scraping also. Okay. So we'll do that. And as I said, Tuesday we will end. Okay. Tuesday will be our last day, guys. Okay. So if you have any questions, please ask me. Okay. And I'll be more than happy to answer. So tomorrow we'll do plotting. Day after we'll do web scraping. Okay. And Monday, Tuesday we'll talk about machine learning and data analytics. If that's okay with you. If you have any other thing for me, please send it in the chat. Okay. And I'll be more than happy to take that up. Okay. Sure, then everyone have a good evening. Okay. We'll connect tomorrow same time. Take care. Bye.